about 14 hours, we'll be dropping the puck over there at Madison Square Garden for Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Amazing, and I've been thinking about it over the last 2 days. The Rangers are in the Final Four, man. I still have to pinch myself. Actually, I woke up this morning and I slapped myself. I said, wake up. Let's go. Today is Game 1. It's a big day, and I'm all excited. I can feel the butterflies already.
Do you ever do that when getting ready for a game, getting slapped? I've seen players do that.
I never did that. I had teammates who did that crap. I don't know.
Crazy.
And by the way, Tommy Pham said the slap was because he knows the ESPN rules, but their fantasy football team, with Jock Peterson involved, have their own individual rules. And he believes that Jock Peterson violated those
unwritten rules.
Yeah, so he slapped them. So anyway, but I know. I was going to think about slapping myself this morning, but then I walked in here, I saw my Rod Gilbert jersey, and I was just thinking about how my team made it to the Final Four, and it's really crazy, especially after watching what the Yankees and the Mets did last night, just drilling the Angels and the Nationals respectively, and then turning on TNT to watch my friend Kenny Albert call an amazing hockey game out in Colorado that ended up 8-6 for the Avs. And I'd hate to be a goalie in that series because they are getting just absolutely peppered. So it's I can feel it. I'm excited. I can't wait for tonight, and I know that our team's coming off of two really tough series. They won 7 games, so they played 14 games, the maximum number of games they could play. And now come the Tampa Bay Lightning. Only played 4 games in the previous round, relatively healthy with the exception of Braden Point, who will not be in the lineup tonight. And it's gonna be on like Donkey Kong, as they say. And can't wait for it. And just excited about all of that. Now, you talked about the Mets. Here's the thing about the Mets. I wrote notes down.
Oh, you wrote notes?
Yeah, I wrote notes. But
look at that.
But I don't need the notes. You know why?
Why's that?
Because you just ripped everything off of my notepad right out of the top of your head.
Oh, look at that.
And I love that you talked about how they're 10.5 games up. It's June 1st. They got 1 game today. Let's get a tidy little sweep here. Because after this game today, they do go out west for 10 games. I think between now or tomorrow, let's say tomorrow, 6-2, June 2nd through the 29th, this is where they need to save their season. Given their injuries and given what's going on, and Buck's done a great job, and they've done a great job beating up on teams that they should be winning against, and that's what they've been doing. Now, I don't know, over the next 24 games, all right, you have the 10 games out west, Dodgers, Padres, Angels, and then you have 7 games at home versus the Brewers and the Marlins.
Yep.
And then you have 5 games away at the Astros and Marlins. And then you have 2 games at home against the Astros. That's the period that I'm looking for, because after the Astros come the Texas Rangers at home, but I'm not counting them. So I'm looking at the next 24 games. And the nice thing is, if they can win today, hopefully they win today, they can go up 11.5, depending on what happens behind them. But the fact is, to me, this is the money spot, because somewhere along the line in July, both DeGrom and Scherzer are coming back.
Yeah, I like the way you said that. Save their season, even though they are up 10.5 games. I sort of feel the same way about it. I mean, it's not like they are sitting there at 500 and scuffling, and maybe this is the month that either puts them over the top or makes them sink down. I mean, they're cruising right now, but this is normally the time of the season, especially with injuries, that we have seen previous Met teams fall off the face of the earth.
They dip, and they dip.
June swoon. How many times have we seen it?
Right, and when they dip, they really dip. And this is where a steady hand, at the bow of the ship with our man Buck Showalter, helps. I'm thinking, like, if somehow, if you won 14-10 over the next 24, you'd be in good shape. You'd be in really good shape. You just don't want to have a losing record over the next 24 games. You can't. You got to stay above 500. You got to stay away from the 3-game losing streaks. You got to stay away. We all know this. I mean, they know this. We know this as fans. And this is why today's game is important. You can't take any game
how
for
great
granted.
would that be? Get that 6-game winning streak, a nice little cushion before heading out there.
Yeah, you can't take any game for granted, man. I don't care that it's June 1st, it's the middle of the season, it's the dog days of baseball. No. This game today is really important. They got to get, and they got Carrasco on the mound. So the other thing too, I do want to say this, because I think it needs to be said, and I know that many people on this radio station over the last couple weeks, whether they be callers or whether they be hosts or whether they be update people with an attitude, I think that everybody should take hold of what Francisco Lindor has been doing. And he's got an 8-game RBI streak now, and late in the game last night, he was able to get that hit to knock into 2 runs to keep that streak going. I just, this is the guy that they paid for.
Well, yeah, but unfortunately for Francisco Lindor, it's funny because when he's doing this, and he won Player of the Month for May in the National League, when he's doing this, you're like, okay, good, this is what we expect. When he's not, that's when all the attention goes on him. It's one of those things we complain about bad weather, but when the weather is nice, nobody say anything about it. You're just going out of your business and going, oh, this is great. That's sort of what's going on with Francisco Lindor.
I understand that, but happy player means productive player.
Yeah.
Productive player means winning team, which means that everybody benefits from winning. It's the same thing with the Rangers, the same thing with the Yankees. That's really what it comes down to. And we finally have, I think, a player that has found his place. He's now happily set in shortstop. He's making great money. He's got a future here. And, and I'm not saying that he's going to have these 2-week periods like this the rest of the year. Mm-hmm. But the point being is that there it is. We can see it. And ultimately what it will come down to for him, like it does for every other major player here in New York, no matter what sport they play, will be the performance at the end of the season and if they make the playoffs. And that's really what he will be, he'll be determined on. He'll be decided on whether or not, I got it out. Don't worry about it. You dropped it. You dropped the papers. But I think that's, welcome back. I mean, this is the guy that we're supposed to be seeing. This is the guy that, is, if he got off to a start like this and was able to do this and keep this, that's your all-star shortstop right there.
Yeah, I mean,
that's exactly what he is.
I mean, with DeGrom and Scherzer out and those superstars not on the team, you're going to need the best out of the position players, and the best of the best is Lindor and Alonso. You need those guys to carry the team. I really do think, though, that in this stretch, the 3 most important guys are in the rotation, and that is Bassett, Taijuan Walker, and Carrasco. And because they run really hot and cold, those guys. Bassett a little more consistent, but if you can get the best out of those guys during this stretch and then sort of piece it together in other places, then you'll be able to keep it together. And I'm not worried about the offense. I mean, I'm telling you, the approach. You always hear about the approach, and remember last year with Chili Davis and his approach, and then Donnie Stevenson and Hugh Quattlebaum and all these people, the approach here, the approach there, and everything else. The approach this year is completely different. You got 2 guys that are just unbelievable about finding places to just place the ball, and that's Jeff McNeil and Luis Guillorme. Both of those guys, when they're up there, they could just put the ball wherever the hell they want. I just loved it. I mean, what did they have last night? 11 singles, I think, that they had?
17 hits last night.
Yeah, I know, but 11 singles, which means that they're just hits, and hits. It's
Patrick
great.
Corbin is not having a great year either, so they took advantage of what they should have taken advantage of. A pitcher who's having a really bad year, and they went after him, and they got the job done. And the other thing, too, is they sent down Dom Smith. Now, about a month ago, we were talking about don't trade Dom Smith, get rid of Robbie Cano and all this other stuff. And then out of the blue, Dom Smith decided to start chirping.
Yeah, I know.
And I want to give him the benefit of the doubt because I'm just trying to think of if I put myself in his shoes. So if I put myself in his shoes, I'm frustrated. I want to play. I want to be out there every single day. I need to get some sort of rhythm going. I can't play every other day, or I can't play every third day. I can't just be, a left-handed late-inning pinch hitter or defensive replacement. I need more of that for me as the baseball player. So for Dom Smith, I give him the benefit of the doubt, and I understand that he is frustrated. And I understand that chirping, the way that he chirped, could also set off a sequence of events because he does have options that unfortunately the Mets have to do. They have to make hard decisions, and nobody wants to make a decision that is going to embarrass anybody, especially if they like that person and respect that person. And I think the Mets do respect and like Dom Smith. I think his teammates respect and like Dom Smith. So I'm not going to get all ticked off over this because we supported Dom, before, when they let go of Robbie Cano. Yeah, that was really the do we keep Robbie Cano and then option Dom down, or what do we do? And they bit the bullet, as they say, and they ate the money, and they let Robbie Cano walk to keep Dom Smith. That's what they did. And now, because of Plummer's emergence and because of some other needs in the bullpen and in the starting rotation, they have to make certain moves that are going to be hurtful. And this one happens to be hurtful because he is a popular player. So
I think the Mets look at it like he's not producing, and we got to figure out a way to get the most production out of everybody on this roster. And Dom Smith looks at it like, well, the reason I'm not producing is I'm not playing every day, and it's impossible for me to get going with this herky-jerky schedule that I have.
Well, yeah. So you have the player who, quite frankly, this is his career. This is whether or not he can show that he could be an everyday Major League Baseball player, which he's not been given the chance to do here this year. And he wants to be able to go play somewhere else. And he wants to be able to show people that he can play because this is his money-making years, man. Mm-hmm. So I totally understand the unhappiness, the comments that he made a couple weeks ago about wanting to play. I feel bad for him. I really do. I mean, and now I think, okay, maybe they should try to trade him. But then again, I really don't want to because I'm thinking later in the season, there's potential for more injuries. He is a good baseball player. I'm not sitting here saying he's a great baseball player, but he's a really good baseball player that if he did play more, we'd probably see more from him. So I understand the frustrations from Dom Smith. I will never, ever get on that kid. Early on when he first came up here, we all got on him because we thought that he was lazy and he was fat. And then he came back the next year and he did something about that, came back in shape. And has had moments as a Met.
And he stayed in shape, too. Which is...
And he's had moments as a Met. You know what? I think he grew up and he recognized this is what I need to do to be a professional. So I respect that. And I do respect his frustration. I really do because this is the time that he needs to be showing that he can play so he can make some real money as a baseball player.
Yeah, I mean, the quotes, when you read them, you're like, oh, man. I mean, you want him to be a part of the team. You want him to look at the way that the franchise took care of him and didn't get rid of him with the Robbie Cano decision and want him to be loyal. But at the same time, I mean, I guess I'd be frustrated too because, he thinks that he's got a lot of talent. He wants to showcase that. And he probably was excited about the idea of getting traded to the Padres if he was going to go over there and play every day.
Yeah, I just think that, it's a tough thing. I mean, it's just a tough thing all around for everybody. And I don't know, he'll be back soon. It's not like he's going away for good. He'll either be back soon or they'll trade him. But maybe they want to get him more at bats. They want to get his confidence back. I don't know where his confidence is. They know because they see him every day. That could be also part of all this. Let's get him down there. Let's get him 40 at bats over the next week, and let's let him get some sort of rhythm going. And that's always been important for every athlete. I remember playing in a game, if we started out the game with like 8 or 9 runs because we felt like we could run on the opposing team, I'm like, I never got in the game. I was never in the game. Mm-hmm. And every quarterback will tell you, look, man, I got to get into the game. I got to get some rhythm going. You got to get me some completions. I don't care if they're screens. I don't care if they're wide receiver screens. I don't care if they're slants or little in routes, whatever they are, whatever the most common way to get a quarterback into the game and get some rhythm going. That's up to the coach to call the plays. That's going to be up to Brian Daboll. That's going to be up to, Michael LaFleur. Get these guys going in the game. And that's how I kind of feel for Dom Smith. Like he's never, at least this year anyway, he's never really had the opportunity to kind of like go out there for 5 straight days, play baseball, and see and give him 25 at bats.
Yeah. I mean, and that's really at this point, Buck Showalter doesn't necessarily care about development of guys. He's just trying to win as many games as possible.
I mean, he's already
matchups and everything else.
He's already developed. We know he's a Major League Baseball player. He's just in a bad spot right now. I'm sure that his confidence is strained, and I'm sure that when he gets, the media that cover the team, they're not stupid. They know what's going on. They know who's upset, who's not upset, and all they have to do is go find the right guy, ask the right question, and you got yourself a headline. And I kind of think that's what happened to him, but he'll be back. Either he'll be back or they'll trade him. But I kind of have a sneaking suspicion they're sending him down to get his confidence going, and then he'll be back when injuries necessitate his return, or
if injuries necessitate a trade and somebody's interested in Dom Smith.
Exactly.
I mean, somehow, some way, he's going to help out this roster.
By the way, did you see this guy out in center field catch Sterling Marte's ball off of the tarp?
Unbelievable. The guy's completely jacked. He's in great shape. He's holding this baby. At no point was the baby in danger, and he catches the ball, a home run ball.
I don't know who you are, man, but that's dad right there.
That is an unbelievable.
That's a dad right there, and I want to give you a big hand because that's a memory that will last a lifetime because you will have that on your phone, and you will show. I think that was his son.
I think so.
Right? You will have that on your phone, and you will show him that to the day he dies.
Yep.
You guys will share that memory in that moment.
Well, wait a second. I actually think he didn't catch it in the air. Right?
Off the tarp.
It bounced it off the tarp. Yeah.
I mean, he still made a hell of a catch.
If he would have caught that in the air, that would have been unbelievable. But still, he was able to catch it.
Look, you don't drop the baby.
No.
Mom's got the other baby.
That's right.
I mean, everything's good. That's a memory that lasts a lifetime.
Absolutely. Bringing the kids to the game. He probably couldn't make it the whole time with the kids, get them home for bedtime, and got a memory there, and then you could show that over and over again.
I think it was pretty awesome.
Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the red bell so you're notified when we have new content.